Alcidonia150 here, and this is another reply to Novabugs Friday Foursome, and this one's on Christmas presents. Right, so, and stuff like that. Well, anyway, let's get on with it. Right, so, the first one, this is probably, if you know me about anything, it's going to be obvious why this is included, is my Sega Mega Drive. I mean, before this, the only console my family had was an Atari 2600, and yeah, big, massive graphical leap from the Atari 2600 to Mega Drive, isn't there? I mean, yeah, that's one huge one that no other console pretty much ever do. And I've technical machines before, but I never played them, so I'm not counting those. So yeah, what did my Mega Drive come with? Altered Beast. That was the very first game I ever played in it. So yes, the very first time I ever game speak was "Ways from your grave." Nothing against Altered Beast, I don't get how people bash it so much, to be honest. Anyway, what else did come with? Quackshot, great Disney game where he plays Donald Duck. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, yeah, another great game. Streets of Rage 2, that was actually the packing with the machine. Probably a fan of beat 'em ups because of that game. And Tasmania, and that one's a bit I don't know, at the time I didn't even know it was based off a TV show, because the TV show based off was not actually played in the UK. But that game's a bit it's not terrible. And then the last game was Fantasia, and yeah, this one's the stinker of this is technically the first real bad game I remember playing and actually thinking was bad. Yeah. Don't bother playing Fantasia. It's not a very good game. I must be about 7 or 8 when I got the Mega Drive, and yeah, so that's definitely going to be the most important one. Right, so number 2, Mighty Max Skull Mountain. Now, you know what Mighty Max are? They were essentially the boys' version of Polly Pocket. So it was about some kid wearing a cap called Max, and he could make portals through his head and he basically went on these adventures getting attacked by killer monsters, and there's little like play sets with tiny little figures in, and Skull Mountain was the biggest one of a lot of them. It was actually in the first series of the line. And the actual place itself is about as big as He-Man's Snake Mountain or Castle Grayskull. What? So yeah, massive thing, since the figures were barely like 2 centimeters tall, and plus it was huge compared to the figures. I still got the Skull Mountain, and I'll probably never get rid of it. I even got some spare pieces for it. Well, what else? Right, and going on to games, because yeah, I've got games for Christmas. Most of the memories of my favourite presents are all games. Yeah, and next one is Skeleton Crew. This is a mixture between, because I got both at the same time, so I'm counting both. Skeleton Crew, which is a game by Core Design, which most people forget exists anymore, but it's like an overhead game where you play as a bunch of like robot cyborg people shooting people and exploding into things. It's kind of an odd game, to be honest. It's fairly fun though. I actually beat the game and it didn't take me long to beat. Also, the Mega Drive version is better than the Amiga version because it had more levels. For some reason the Amiga version had less levels, but looked the same. I'm not sure what that's about, but... And when I got that, I also got Alien Soldier. Yeah, I'm sure most people know Alien Soldier, yeah. Essentially like almost like unofficial sequel to Gunstar Heroes, and basically a giant boss rush game, insanely difficult game. I've never got past stage 20 on the games to this day. I cannot beat the Stefan Foursome, whatever I do. And I have tried and tried and tried as well. I'm really fortunate I got hold of that game when it was new before it became super expensive like it is now. And the last one's, well, is another video game, but it's technically a console. It's thing called. I'm gonna have to do a story about these things before I even mention the name of it, but Famiclones, you know, those bootleg Nintendo system plug-and-play ones. You just plugged in and it had loads of like hacked ROMs on them, and sometimes it'd play a bit slow, or the sound would sound wonky, or they'd have the title screens or copyright removed on them. Usually you notice a lot of the same games in these. Then you notice really bizarre ones on them, like here's a Chinese original game where you play as Harry Potter kicking snakes in the face. I mean, yeah, because that totally makes sense. All that Harry Potter does is punches people in the face, but obviously that's what he did in that game. But yeah, these are some I've always thought about when I think about these is Christmas. And there's a simple reason, they only ever showed up around shops in my area near Christmas time. It's like, there was a stall thinking, what were it? Hedgerow Shopping Centre in Leeds, and there was a stall there for a few years, and a guy had a big stand. One of those little stands. And he basically was selling these off. The thing that always made me laugh about this guy, so it's not that he was selling these off for years upon years, it's that his signs were so cheap. There was he clearly just used Microsoft like Word 2003. Just randomly got word processed a few words and put colours into them and just laminated them and stuck them to his shop. It was so cheap. But that's not really made me laugh. What made me laugh is it said plug and play, no console required, except he spelled console CONSUL. Oops. And he never changed his sign for years. So then we went past just laughing at this guy with his giant typo. Always some kids playing it when you walk past. Another thing I've noticed, when you always see people having these things set up, they always have two games always showing them off. Either Super Mario Land or Gradius. I have no clue why it's always those two, but it always is. You don't really see them round much anymore, probably because they use they don't use like HDMI cables and all that. But yeah, and then there was the most insane one of those I saw, and that was I would love to find a picture of it, but I can't find a picture online of it. But it was utterly insane, and I'd love to know what they was thinking even creating such a thing. But it was essentially one of these Famiclones inside an actual arcade cabinet. Yeah. And the artwork on the side of it was really shady as well. It was full of stolen stock art of Mario and Donkey Kong and things. And while I say they're the arcade perfect versions, it wasn't the arcade perfect versions, obviously, because it was the Super Nintendo versions of the games. So yeah, it had Double Dragon 2 and 3 on it, but those weren't the arcade versions. And then the ones when I saw this in the shop I was confused that it's like, why on earth has it got Game Genie programmed into it? I mean, these things the Game Genie classes as a separate game, so you can't use it. Oh, you only had Duck Hunt on it, which might sound fine, but this arcade cabinet had no light guns, so how are you meant to play it? And the most insane thing is, it was something like ridiculous, about £900, when at the time these machines you could get for under 20 for an actual thing. I mean, what insane person actually bought them things? I don't know. I just saw one kid in a TV show won one of the prize ones, but that's the only other time I saw them. Insane. But anyway, yeah, why do you talk about Famiclones? Because yeah, my last one is, you may have guessed it, it's a Famiclone system, and specifically it's one called Mega Joy 2000, which I obviously got in 1999, and it was shaped like a Nintendo 64 controller. And why do I have so many memories of this? So yeah, I just remember there were lots of games on that one. Most of them are actually original games and not sprite hacks, unlike lots of these other ones. Though bizarrely enough, Mortal Kombat was on it, which definitely didn't have official Nintendo version. But most of them was just like, but you know, these multi-cart ones, we've all seen them before, that 5 in ones, like say like 20 in one, but they've only got like 10 games on it and they just repeat themselves with different names kind of thing. This one did that as well. I had memories of it because, well, we had relatives staying over for a while in the Christmas of 1999. And because of that, we used to sit there up for quite a long time, just having this playing this, going completely ballistic on a certain specific game series on this thing. And that was Hyper Sports, or what was sometimes called Track and Field, because these things have like this thing obviously had 4 buttons, but only 2 real buttons, so you could rapid fire like crazy in the Olympics. And I was watching my cousin and my middle brother just going completely ballistic on this controller, trying to get beat world records just playing this game. So yeah, when I think of the millennium, the first thing I think of is the Famiclone system, of all things. Anyway, that's enough for this video, so thank you for watching and listening.